Hey guys, welcome back to Bowls Fan TV, and it's that time of the week again where we do our match preview and our predictions for this week's game against Dundalk at Oriel Park. How are you, Aaron?
And
Yeah, good win for Bowls last week, 3-0 against Cork. What did you make of the game?
that was pretty standard, really. Yeah, secured European football, but it's not like last year where you were happy. It's like kind of expected now a little bit. I felt
Yeah,
it was good,
yeah,
good win.
yeah, good win. I thought played well. I think Cork didn't really have a lot of opportunities. He had a few in the second half, but I think we controlled the game well and fully deserved the 3 points. So we'll start by doing some predictions. We'll leave our game until the preview. So starting with, well, I was going to say Shamrock Rovers and Derry, but that game looks to be off now after two
Uh,
Rovers players tested positive for coronavirus. So yeah, it looks like that game will be off. So on to the first game. I think it's Cork and Waterford at Turner's Cross. How do you see this one going?
uh, Cork are obviously fighting for their lives. They need to pick up a win in their next 3 games left. I think they have, and they're 2 points behind Harps. So they're playing Waterford, Munster Derby, Turner's Cross. Uh, Waterford, they lost the Shells at the weekend, so late on, but I don't see anything but Waterford win. I'd go 2-0 Waterford.
Yeah, I think Cork are down and out really, aren't they? They haven't been good enough this season. Maybe if it was a full season, they could have stayed up. You feel like Cork probably are missing the crowd a bit to get them over the line
Yeah,
in some games. They played Dundalk. I think it was last night or the other night. I'm not sure.
Tuesday
And I
night.
think yeah, and they lost 2-0. So it's a difficult one to call. It's a Munster derby. Cork are fighting for their lives, as you said. They've got Colin Healy in charge, who's club legend. But I'm actually going to go with a shock here. I think Cork have what it takes to win. um, it's a bold call, alright, but I think Cork are going to win this one 2-1. But again, it wouldn't shock me if they lost like 5-0 or something. But
Yeah,
yeah, so I'll go with a shock. Why not? It's a derby. I think Colin Healy will have them,
fired
well
up.
drilled, fired up. Yeah, yeah, you feel like you've been saying that all season for Cork that eventually they might
They
have
just
a
have
bit of luck.
own really.
Yeah,
They
I
haven't
just
been
don't think.
consistent. That's their problem.
Yeah, the squad isn't settled. The fact that most of the players are loans, and it's difficult for them to gel. But I think I think they're going to win this one. I think Waterford haven't been good uh, lately. They lost the Shells, which isn't good. But yeah, as I said, if I've gone with Cork win, but wouldn't surprise me if they got barred.
Yeah, and Waterford are also fighting for that kind of fourth European spot anyway. But that be a good game. Both teams fighting for two different things anyway. But I can't see Cork even scoring after playing them the other day.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm just trying to be different, but it wouldn't surprise me if they lost. So on to the last one. Shells and Sligo at Talca Park. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, both teams mid-table. Sligo have probably had the better season overall, looking at it. But tight game, I'd say Shells winning on Friday kind of makes it a bit different because they haven't been playing well recently. Even against us, they were pretty bad. I'll go with a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think that win in Waterford probably secured Shells' safety that they'll be in the league next season. Uh, Waterford still going for fourth. Uh, they haven't been brilliant lately. But I think you have to credit Liam Buckley and what he's done. They were bottom of the table going into the restart. Now they're one of the favourites to get that fourth spot. And they could possibly even push for third. Who knows? So yeah, I'll probably go with a draw. I think this one is a tight game. I think Shells, yeah, they're safe now. Warford probably need to win this one. to get into Europe, but I think it'll be a 0-0 draw. So boring 0-0 really. So on to the preview. It's going to be a tight game. Obviously, Dundalk they've been pretty good lately. They've gotten into the Europa League group stages. Uh, how do you see this one going?
It's a difficult one because they have their first group game next Thursday. So like even they might even put out a weaker team. You never know, but they're still fighting. They're like a couple of games behind, so they need to pick up a good few wins to kind of cement that third spot. But yeah, we bet them at home, but we don't normally win up in Oriel. That's one of the only grounds that we haven't won on in a good few years now. But I can see it. I can see us nicking a point, 1-1.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be a tight game. Obviously, we don't have the best of records going up to Oriel Park. We haven't won there in a while. Again, we did beat them at home, 2-1, but I think Dundalk are a much changed side from that team that seemed to be all over the place, where Vinny Perth falling out with the board and he ended up getting sacked. But now they have a Filippo Giova goalie who's done a very good job since he's
Yeah,
come
you
in.
have to
Obviously,
credit what he's done with the
yeah, like
even the time he's had. He's only had what about not even 2 months, and he's taken them from mid-table in the league to like Europa League group stages. I know they're probably favourites in all their qualifiers, but like you still have to go out and win all the games. And like good to see a League of Ireland team in a group stage of a European competition, though.
yeah, definitely it brings a lot of attention to the league and it gives Dundalk a lot of money as well. Um, yeah, I think we don't have the best of records in Oriel Park, as we said. We've been good lately though. We had a little bit of a rough patch there a few weeks ago. We was the Rovers and we lost to Waterford as well. So we've gotten back on track now, and I think now that we've secured Europe now, and we're probably going to finish second. So it probably means more to the Dog this game now because they'll want to get Europe because it's not secured for them just yet. Um, but as you said, their first qualifying game is in a week or two. So
Thursday week, I think.
yeah, so they might want to rest maybe a couple of players for that. Still, I think even if they didn't have a full squad, they'd still have a pretty strong team.
Yeah, they have a good squad anyway. Like 2 players for most positions. So
Yeah, but like it's. I don't think Rovers. Well, I suppose their game's off now, but if it does go ahead, which I'd imagine it doesn't, but if it does, like I don't think it'll really play into the both players' minds that the Rovers could potentially win the league if we lose and they win. But we we've been solid, and I think Dundalk have have a lot of good players in their team that can hurt us. But I think on our day we can definitely get a point, as you said. So yeah, I'll probably go with that myself. A 1-1 draw. I think those fans would probably take that, including
yeah,
myself.
like the fact in our last 2 games we've scored 6 goals. Like that's we haven't scored like 3 goals in a game all season apart from those last 2 games. But like it's good to see though. Like going forward, scoring, putting every chance away. Like that's what you want. You don't want to be like, oh no, the game could have been won there. But yeah, I'm a bit more confident after the last 2 performances than I would have been before the Shells game, obviously. But yeah, I can see us making a point.
Yeah, obviously we both got my draws, and we haven't drawn a game out season, which is
No,
strange.
great.
Um, yeah, obviously this will be very tight, so that's probably why I've gone with a draw. Like I'd love to say a Bows win, but I don't know if we have the squad now that can really put the dog to the test. And
Yeah,
like we have Amishare and Devoy, he'll probably both play again. good players, but I don't know if they're ready just yet to kind of break into the team and become regular first team players.
Yeah, they're probably playing for for even next season to have Keith to trust them going forward. Like the rest of the year, I think it's a bit of a trial for some of the young players coming through because we don't really have anything to play for now. Like maybe the cup, but that's really it. So I can see him switching it up a good bit from now to the end of the year.
Yeah, I'd say the team will probably look quite the same really until the end of the season. We've we haven't Amashari in there and the boy. I'd say they'll probably both start the last three games. Um, so yeah, what do you think the team could look like?
Yeah, team or Talbot and goal. Uh, go with Lyons, Cornwall, Casey, and Resin, then Buckley, Livingston. Give played the Voy at the attacking mid with Grant, Omashare, and Andre Wright up front.
Yeah, I've actually gone with the exact same team as that. Obviously, Rob Cornwell did get an injury against Cork. Hopefully, he's alright. But if he isn't, then we have James Kennedy that can come in and do a job anyway. Yes, that's pretty much it. One more thing I'd like to touch on. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's been pictures gone around of Keith Long meeting with Adam McDonald, former Shells player. I think he plays for Bournemouth in England. I this is the first I've really heard of him. I've never heard of him up until I heard that we were in talks to sign him. Plays for Bournemouth in the National League. He was at Aldershot Town. I think he won that player of the season a couple of seasons ago. I've seen a couple of clips of him. He looks okay. Have you seen anything of him?
No, that's the first I've heard of him. What position is he playing, or is he
I
like
think
a winger?
he's a midfielder. I think central midfielder, but he can attack as well. Uh, he
So is
seems to
that
have
does that look like a replacement for Andrew? Like
possibly like he's
looking at it,
from what I've seen of him in clips. Uh, he has a good left foot on him. He can he can hit a ball. He can
move the. Is he like one of those midfielders that sweeps the ball up and down the pitch?
yeah, he's kind of like a box to box type
Yeah.
player. He I've seen a couple of clips of him scoring a couple of nice free kicks, and he scored some nice goals as well for Aldershot. That's kind of where he had his best years there. He used to play for Shells, I think, about 7 years ago or something. Went over to Ipswich, and I think he played a couple of games for them as well.
Yeah.
Um, he's only 23 as well,
He's
which
only 23, and he's playing with Shells. Wouldn't have been 7 years ago, would it?
20 like,
He would
well,
have
so yeah,
been
maybe
15.
he probably would have been about. Oh God, I don't know. But I don't know. Like it was probably around, maybe not 7 years ago. I'd probably say around 5 or 4, possibly
Yeah.
7 years
He
ago. One
probably
around about.
with a League of Ireland team went over to England. He went over to Ipswich then, and then kind of went down the leagues in England. Now maybe looking for a trip back home. That's a good age to get a player back though, because they're a bit more mature than like say when Andrew came back, because he was only about 20 when he came back. But so yeah, have to see how that one goes.
Yeah, I was surprised he's only 23 because when I seen him in the picture, I thought he looks around he's in his 30s, but he seems a good player. Like I don't know, it's the National League. No, that's not like a very good level, but that's
No.
kind of like where if Balls were to play in England, that's probably where they'd be at around that, like the National League. Probably that's
Yeah,
probably
because isn't that a semi-pro league as well? And both are a semi-pro club, so
yeah, it's the league below League Two, I think,
League
isn't
Two,
it?
yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what comes of that. Obviously, there's been no real updates on Dara O'Connor.
No,
Obviously, there's been a few stuff
you haven't
happening,
been in his DMs lately, have you?
um, yeah, hopefully we can bring them two in. They're two. I don't know a lot about Adam McDonald, but I've seen Dara O'Connor, and he's
The more people in the squad, the better, though. That's the way I look at it. Like,
yeah, obviously because the squad depth's important,
because
especially since we're going to be playing.
we struggled with squad depth in like the last 2 years. Like you kind of knew, even last year, you kind of knew the main team that was going to be played. But like now, even now, it's good. It's just good to have that kind of people on the bench that can come on and even change a game.
Yeah, definitely. I think squad depth's going to be important as well now that playing in Europe again, and a couple of players could be going out the door. Obviously, Twardek's already left. Luke White Slater's already left as well. So
And
yeah,
then Aaron Kelly went on loan to, who was it?
Ballymena.
Ballymena,
Yeah, and I'd imagine a few more will go out the door, like Mandrew and maybe a couple of strange players like Macaulay or
yeah. I can
Michael
see
Barkham.
he leaving.
Yeah, so it'll be an exciting season next season, obviously. But if we can build a good team and properly
Yeah,
challenge for a cup, like if we can win the cup this year, that'd be great. But if not, then I think the cup will definitely be a priority. Um, Getting into Europe for a third straight year will also be a very good achievement.
yeah. It's just trying to get consistently. Like this year, it's been better. Well, technically better than last year because we're looking like we're going to finish higher than we did last year. With but
Yeah, but especially now that the next season will be like a proper season, proper full games, like, and
yeah,
the table will probably look a bit more normal now that you won't see like Waterford or Sligo up in Europe, or you mightn't see us in the top two, but
who do
who
you
knows?
think will
Like,
actually pip that possible fourth European spot? Because it's between
um, it's
three or
probably between,
four teams. Like
yeah, like I think anyone from like seventh or sixth onwards can get it. I think the bottom three will probably stay the same. I say Shells will probably get eighth, and then Cork will probably get bottom, and Finn Harps will probably be ninth and have to settle for a playoff spot. But anyone like the likes of Derry, Pats, Sligo, and Waterford, I
but
imagine
you
those
see,
four teams.
if I had to pick a team, I'd probably say Waterford because they've actually surprised me this year. Like I thought they'd be in and around the bottom two. Like they're doing well, so it'd be great for them to get fourth above like the likes of Pats and Derry and all, because everyone was saying Derry are like on course to kind of beat them, and Bowes would beat out the teams that would challenge the top two, but Bowes have kind of stepped away, and now they're kind of in a bracket of their own a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, like as long as you have like two players in every position, really, like
That's what you really need.
yeah, because that's what was so important this season and getting us into this top two was, if Talbot is on a bit, like if he's injured or he isn't playing well, Steve McGuinness can come in and do well because he's a good keeper, and he's there at left back. You have Anto Breslin and you have Paddy Kirk as well, two good players, and a lot of cover at centre back as well. Maybe not as much in attack and in the midfield. Maybe now
Yeah,
that because I don't really think JJ Lunny is a brilliant player. Like he's okay, but
he's not like
not yeah.
he
He's
wouldn't
not
win the
like
league. He wouldn't.
no like he's not like a Conor Livingston or a keeper.
He's good
But
to have in the squad though, in case one of the main midfielders get injured though.
yeah, and there's not a lot of depth on the wing either. I don't think,
No,
cause, which we'll probably be looking at a winger as well. Um, Now that Luke White Slater's gone and Twardek's gone, and up front we have three strikers. Andrew White's been brilliant. Dinny Corkin can come in and do well. Glenn McCauley, I'm not really too convinced on him, but
no, no.
um,
I'd say either one of those will probably be out the door, and probably Macaulay because he's not gonna waste his or not, like kind of sit on the bench in his in his first few years. He wants to kind of go out and play a bit of football, but if he does leave, where would he even go? Like, would a League of Ireland team take him? Like,
I don't know. I think you do well for maybe someone like Shelburne, maybe. I don't really rate him. I don't think he's that good.
no,
Like he was at Liverpool. He was playing in their under 23s, and think he done okay over there. Went over to Pats and he wasn't great. And I think Keith Long probably just took him to maybe just probably add a bit more squad depth. Like
Yeah, like well, obviously he thought then we were gonna have a full season, so that's probably why he did take him on with squad depth. But yeah, it's kind of unlucky on his case because he hasn't got much football with the two in front of him either. Like, so
yeah, I'd probably expect more outgoings maybe this transfer window than maybe there is incomings. Like I think I'd like to see us maybe add a couple of midfielders and a couple of wingers. Maybe a right back to cover for Andy Lyons if he gets injured. I know there's Michael Barker, but
he's more of a centre back anyway.
yeah, and maybe he might look at going at the end of the season, you know. Because I'd imagine the priority also would be trying to get players like Danny Grant and RJ Wright on new contract.
Yeah, like I agree with you. Like I'd say we go in the window, quality over quantity in a way.
Yeah,
like yeah, that's probably the way it's gonna go.
Because you've seen it before, you know, where we've lost good players for absolutely nothing, like Dan O'Kelly and Dan Casey, particularly that window where we lost all those for nothing, and yeah, it was disappointing to see that we didn't really get anything out, and because that's probably why we sold Twardek during like
to get
because
get the money.
he probably would have to get the 40K that we got for him, because if he had stayed on,
he would have been free.
He probably would have lost him for free, which wouldn't have been good. But hopefully Danny Grant and Andre Wright sign new contracts, because they've been the players that have impressed since coming back. Can you see Danny Mandrew leaving?
Yeah, like he's a bit kind of frozen out, if I'm being honest. But
yeah,
maybe
like
it's kind of sad though, because the times he did have him when he was brilliant, like they were some of the best Bulls games me and you have obviously been to. But now you're just a bit like you're more concentrating on what the team is doing and not one individual.
Yeah, because he was such a popular figure, wasn't he? Like he was definitely up there with fan favorite. Like you know, he was very good that season because he cared that season. This season he just doesn't really seem
to. He lit up
the
league, like he lit up the team, the league, like every game he was. He just had that thing where he could produce something out of absolutely nothing. Like as it be a pass or a goal or it's weird to say go, but it depends where he does go.
Like if it is Shamrock Rovers, I hope not, but maybe if a team in England might take him, maybe that'd be the better move for him. I don't know.
Because if he's still in the 21s in Ireland, like if he wants to kind of make a shout,
like if he wanted
to Stephen Kenny, look at me, I'm getting the team.
Like maybe if he wanted to have a chance of playing for a team in League One or League Two, even I'd say he's probably League One standard. I'd imagine. I think if he had the right attitude, he'd definitely be in the team. But I don't know why. When we came back from the restart, obviously before he was playing every game. He was the first name on the team sheet, but now it just seems like he's just been completely frozen now ever since we come back. I think he started one game, and that was
Watford.
and it was funny enough because that was when the Rovers rumour started coming out, and maybe Keith Long just wanted to play him to kind of talk those rumours down. But whenever he's asked about, whenever he was asked about Andrew and his future, he just refused to comment on it. But I'd imagine he'd be going at the end of the season anyway. He'll probably go for nothing as well, which is disappointing. But
because we did time down to a new deal until the end of this year, last summer. I remember when we got set, like Talbot, Buckley, who else?
Levinson and James Finnerty and all that.
Yeah.
We had all them on new deals, which was good because there was probably, I'd say there could
There
have
was
been
definitely
interest.
there would have been interest if they had have been. Like that would have
Yeah,
been.
because I think I heard something around that time as well. Derby County looking at Danny Manager, and they that's probably why they offered him a new deal. And I remember, wasn't it before the Rovers rumours came out, he was linked with FC20 in the Dutch
In
league.
yeah.
But I don't know, there's loads of options for him there anyway if he wants to leave.
But when he does go, I want him to still do well. But if he plays for Rovers, it's kind of hard to want him to do well.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd break into the team as well because I think they play a certain type of formation that probably doesn't really suit him. I think they play a 3-4-3 or something. I
Yeah,
think that's
they play
which
three at the back with the wing
wing
back.
backs. Yeah, or just like a 3-5-2 or something. I don't really know. I don't really pay much attention to Rovers, but it's hard to see him fitting into a team where there's no real like attacking midfield role for him where he can pick up the ball and have a shot. But I wish him the best of luck really wherever he goes. I don't really want him in the team. He just doesn't seem interested. But
Oh.
yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.